Cardio is to muscle gain what garlic farts are to a first date, in the eyes of many. Many men and women who want to grow muscle shun cardio as they avoid cigarette smoke, believing that even a small whiff will prevent them from making any progress. Others go to ludicrous lengths to avoid cardio, such as hiring a friend to walk their dog for them so they don't burn muscle, or utilizing the escalator instead of the stairs, and even many knowledgeable fitness gurus scream against the dangers of cardio. Of course, many people who like lifting weights view cardio as a drunk uncle who just passed out on their porch, a duty they are aware they should perform but would prefer to avoid. So they jump on it when their favorite TikTok fitness tub thumper says that they should quit doing cardio if they want to grow muscle. The notion that exercise destroys muscle is viral because it offers a convenient rationale for avoiding a workout that many people dislike. Cardio is straightforward and memorable, and even has a grain of truth. It's incorrect as well, much like many harmful fitness conventions. Learn what scientific research has to say about issues like these in this video. Does exercising burn muscle? Does cardio when fasting burn muscle? Should you exercise when gaining muscle? When does cardio become too much? How cardio can burn muscle? When people suggest that cardio burns muscle, what they really mean is that the contractile proteins that make up your muscles are broken down throughout the exercise. They're somewhat correct, too. If you nearly entirely neglect your diet and exercise regimen, cardio can burn muscle. It's kind of like claiming credit cards wreck your money to suggest that aerobics always burns muscle. Kind of the case for many individuals. Yes. Misleading and clumsy enough to be incorrect? Yes, again. As you'll discover in this article, if you eat well and exercise hard, cardio won't prevent you from making progress. Additionally, it will enhance your cardiovascular health, lower your chances of cancer, heart disease, and cognitive decline, facilitate getting, and maintaining, a lean body, and may even enhance your performance in the gym. In other words, if you're engaging in the bad habits discussed in the following sentences, quitting cardio altogether will help you build more muscle and strength. But if you don't keep doing these things, you can, and probably should, exercise without jeopardizing your gains. The top 6 reasons why individuals believe that exercising burns muscle are as follows. Rather than doing weights, do cardio. Including cardio with a crash diet. Excessive running. Excessive complete cardio. Performing too much cardio at once. Cardio right before, during, or after weightlifting that is extremely taxing. Doing cardio instead of lifting weights. Although many people attribute muscle loss to aerobics, the real culprit is a deficiency of weightlifting. For instance, comparing images of sprinters with marathon runners is one of many fitness experts' common false herrings. Which would you choose to look like? LOL. No heartbeat, simply good feelings, and pumped AF. You may create images like this by following this sophisticated line of reasoning. They contend that if you engage in conventional, low-intensity aerobics, like marathon runners, you will seem scraggly. You will resemble a bodybuilder if you do weights and perform very little cardio, like sprinters. Naturally, this ridiculous reasoning ignores a number of facts. Numerous endurance athletes avoid weightlifting. Or, if they do it seldom or inconsistently, with high repetitions and small weights. The majority of competitive top endurance athletes train far more than even leisure athletes. Champion marathon runners, for instance, may run up to 160 kilometers each week, more than 20 miles per day. That is not at all like what most people do to be in shape. The majority of top endurance athletes are borderline unhealthy in their fixation with keeping their weight low, especially long-distance runners. They frequently aggressively restrict their caloric intake to avoid gaining weight, muscle or fat, as this lowers their performance. The majority of sprinters use various types of steroids, especially the ones that resemble IFBB pros, Winstrol, testosterone, decadurabolin, you name it. In contrast to most endurance athletes, they also spend a significant portion of their time lifting weights since this increases their performance. Doing cardio as part of a crash diet. Most cardio enthusiasts aren't professional endurance athletes like Ryan Hall. Instead, to lose weight as quickly as possible, the typical cardio addict combines intense activity with a crash diet. And it really does work quite nicely. For instance, 15 overweight men participated in a research that was published in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports. They were given a diet that only provided 10% of their daily caloric demands for 4 days. The really shocking part is that they also made them work out for 9 hours every day, walking for 8 hours, 20 miles, and then doing arm exercises for 45 minutes. Running too much. Does exercise burn off muscle? Kind of. It is true that, of all aerobic exercises, running appears to be the most detrimental to building muscle hypertrophy. Compared to other aerobic exercises like cycling, rowing, and rucking, running generates more muscle injury, which hinders muscle building in 2 ways. Running greatly boosts the breakdown of muscle protein both during and afterward, making it more difficult for your body to produce new muscle proteins. It exhausts you more than other forms of exercise, which might make it difficult to work out for strength. However, this does not imply that any amount of running will hinder your growth, as our buddy Ryan Hall shows. For instance, one of the initial studies on this subject had participants participate in a 5 days per week strength training regimen, while a second group also completed 3 intense runs and 3 cycle exercises each week. They discovered that those who combined strength training and aerobic exercise acquired virtually as much muscle as those who solely engaged in weightlifting. The same result has been reached by several other research that have mixed jogging with weightlifting. However, this does not imply that any amount of running will hinder your growth, as our buddy Ryan Hall shows. For instance, one of the initial studies on this subject had participants participate in a 5 days per week strength training regimen, while a second group also completed 3 intense runs and 3 cycle exercises each week. They discovered that those who combined strength training and aerobic exercise acquired virtually as much muscle as those who solely engaged in weightlifting. The same result has been reached by several other research that have mixed jogging with weightlifting. The right way to combine cardio and strength training. Do aerobic exercises actually burn muscle? No. By interfering with your strength training routines and reducing the anabolic benefits of weightlifting, improper cardio might reduce your pace of muscle gain. But if you avoid these mistakes, which is simple to accomplish, you won't lose muscle. Cardio may be problematic if you don't know how to utilize it effectively, just like the credit card analogy. But if you use it intelligently, you may benefit much. This is how. Prioritize low-impact forms of cardio like cycling, rowing, skiing, and rucking. Limit the volume and duration of your cardio workouts to no more than 30 to 45 minutes per cardio workout and 2 to 3 hours of total cardio per week. Separate your cardio and strength training workouts by as much time as possible, and try to avoid training the same muscle group with both weightlifting and cardio on the same day, such as squats in the morning and running in the afternoon. Do those 3 things, and cardio should have more or less no negative effects on your ability to gain muscle. Finally, if you use cardio correctly, it need not get in the way of building muscle. Bottom line, cardio has a negative reputation because of user mistake, not because it negates gains.